Welcome back. I am Jon Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. 3 at 3, we bring you what we call unusual activity. We are the people that coined that phrase, my brother Pete and I and the team at Market Rebellion. What does that mean? That means when somebody comes in and they think they know something, they think that maybe the information they have is better than the information you and me have. And what do? Well, they go and they buy a bunch of levered opportunistic calls if it's bullish, or levered opportunistic puts if it's bearish. So if you've never traded an option before, calls are bullish, puts are bearish if you are purchasing them. All we ever talk about here on the program is we're following that unusual activity, buying that call, and then selling a higher strike call against it. Conversely, if we're buying a put, we will buy that put if we're, for instance, trading a stock that's $55 and we're buying the 55 put, we would sell a put underneath it at the 50 or 45 strike as an example, and thereby cutting down the cost of ownership and addressing time decay. That's what we love to do. We want to move the odds into our favor as far as possible. So let's get started with Captain Obvious today. Captain Obvious was, well, Bob Chapek was a disaster for Disney. Why would I say that? He was such a nice man. He may have been a nice man. Doesn't mean you want him running your company. For the past 3 years, Disney, performance-wise, was massively underperforming the market. How much, John? Well, let's see. They dropped 29% in the 3 years that he was the CEO of Disney versus the market being up 26%. So that's pretty massive underperformance, you might say. And so when they got rid of him and brought back a guy that many of us thought was responsible for some of the go-go days of Disney, not necessarily for the theme parks, but for the movies, the acquisitions of the likes of, Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, that was pretty darn big for them. Also, getting Star Wars and the like was pretty big for Disney, and they have designed theme park rides and everything around these. These were the go-go days of Disney from a media standpoint. And even though it's not doing as well as it used to, ESPN's still chugging along, churning out cash every quarter. So Captain Obvious says that if you get rid of the guy who's underperforming and you bring in the best guy, you're probably going to be rewarded. And indeed, Disney did pop pretty substantially. I'm going to check real quick and see where it is now, but it closed at 91 last Friday, and Disney moved up to open over $100 a share today. Right now, it's still up 6% at 97.44. Again, Captain Obvious, you bring back a guy who's loved, who has famously done all these good things, versus Mr. Chapek, who decided, it's a good idea for me to fight with the most popular governor in America. That would be Ron DeSantis. And I think we all know how that one worked out. All right, let's move on to Carvana. John, those calls expired, or puts rather, the calls and puts. Yeah, they did. But just to give you an idea, when these calls expired, the stock was $20+ a share. Carvana has basically tanked since then. And our October 14th expiring calls, I think they made us just a little bit of money. But again, we were in calls, and that's all that we put on the table was a little bit of money. The puts that we did since then have paid off in spades as the stock has traded down to sub $7. That's right. So it was $21.76 in October. Well, ain't anywhere near that anymore. And now they're talking about them running out of cash going forward. Ouch. Merck, this one a recent trade for us. They bought a ton of the 102 calls. Well, stock runs to a high today of, let's see, 105.86 earlier today. Bang. There's how you can follow my brother Pete, who is at Pete Najarian, and I am at Jon Najarian. And now we are diving into the new stuff, like CROX. CROX, CROX, at 2 o'clock Eastern time, 2 hours before the market closes today. They bought a lot of puts. How many? 5,000. 5,000 December 85 puts. It's a lot of puts with stock trading 92.50 roughly. So those puts are a full, let's call it, $7 out of the money, folks. That's a lot. But I like when people are buying out of the money puts, and you might understand that in the case of CROX, perhaps this is a bet that CROX does not have a bang up holiday season. Now they might, but if you're buying a put, you have a limited amount of risk. It's not the same as shorting the stock. Limited amount of risk, levered return. That's what we're all about here at Market Rebellion. So that's the first of today's 3 at 3. The thing I want to tell you next is that tomorrow, AJ Monte, our chief technician, is going to be doing a free webinar Tuesday, November 22nd, 4 p.m. Eastern time. In other words, right at the market close. Now, if you go to Market Rebellion and you register, you will be in on this, and you will get emailed a full copy of the discussion, the entire Zoom presentation. If you cannot be there live, you will still get sent to your email address the full presentation at zero cost to you. Zero cost to register, zero cost to you to get that full presentation emailed out to you. So again, it's tomorrow at the market close. If that is an inconvenient time for you, then by all means, do what you have to do. And when you get back from the gym, when you get back home after driving or whatever you're doing, flying, you can view this as many times as you like for the presentation that we will email to you directly, no cost. The Rebel's Edge, this is our show. Pete and I do this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It is 4 days a week. Today we had to have Mark Lopresti sit in for my brother Pete because Pete was in the dentist chair and he was numb, basically right here. Not happy about it, but he came out of it with flying colors. And we will be joined by Pete tomorrow, again, 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern, we do the Rebel's Edge 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bang. All right, second trade is Affirm. Now, this is a buy now, pay later play. Can other people compete with them? Of course they can, and of course they do. This is not a space where only one will win. But Affirm, could this be because with the stock at 1286, they're buying the 1350 calls? In other words, call it, roughly 60 cents out of the money, 64 cents if you want to be precise, out of the money above where the market's trading. They bought 1.1 million share equivalent because 11,400 calls, well, that is 1.1 million share equivalent. Now, could it be because a lot of people are stretched on their credit cards right now, and instead they have to buy now, pay later through a service like Affirm? Perhaps, because you know what happens this Friday at expiration, the 25th of November? Black Friday. It's already kicked off, folks. Most of us know that already because you're getting bombarded in your email inbox or on your texts about all the Black Friday specials already. Will a lot of people perhaps be paying buy now, pay later? Perhaps. And that is one of the reasons we think that they are scrambling into Affirm just days ahead of Black Friday. Also want to remind you that if you want to give a gift or gift to yourself, what better way than to attend the Market Rebellion live trading 2-day event in Miami, the 8th through the 10th. It is the 8th through the 10th of December. So in other words, it's coming up in less than 2 weeks. And you can join us on the beach, on the boats, at the restaurants, smoking cigars, whatever your pleasure may be. We'll probably have people that would love to join you because it's Miami, it's Art Basel, and we have hotel rooms secured for the 25 people that join us. After that, we can't take you. We don't have room. We don't have rooms in the hotel. And you know, Art Basel's very popular. So if you would like to join us, sign up now because we have a few spots left, December 8th through 10th. And all you need to do is go to marketrebellion.com/Miami. That's marketrebellion.com/Miami. And then hopefully you will be joining us in Miami, December 8th through 10th, 2 days of live trading, lots of fun, lots of education, coaches, mentors, subscriptions, all of that part of this package. Go check it out, folks. Third and final is US Foods. So this is a December play. So perhaps including some of the buying that restaurants and consumers have done of the exact food that US Foods delivers. This occurred at about 1:30 Eastern time today. The stock was $34.50. They were buying the 35 calls, just 50 cents above where the market was at the time. But a lot of calls, 5,000 calls, that is 500,000 share equivalent. We love it, as you know, when people are telegraphing that sort of activity. So we joined right along with them, buying the 34 calls and then selling upside calls if indeed it rallies. And if it doesn't, since this is in the fast time decay category, I will cut my losses aggressively and quickly if it doesn't work out, because there's always that possibility. There is no guarantee, but somebody bought 500,000 share equivalent. I want a coattail with them, but if they're wrong, if the market turns the wrong way, I'm not going to let that go to zero. I'm going to cut it and move on to the next trade, because that's how I've survived for 41 years in the markets. All right, go check out marketrebellion.com today at marketrebellion.com/get started. You can also register for that event tomorrow with AJ Monte at marketrebellion.com. And or you can join us in Miami by typing marketrebellion.com/Miami. Thank you, folks. That's going to do it for me today. I will be back with Pete tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here for the Rebel's Edge. See you then.